So, America's dad, Bernard Sanders, recently went on to NBC and warned about the potential damage that AI could cause if unregulated. And for those of you that do not know, recently, President Donald Trump signed a bill that basically punishes states if they want to um, individually um, regulate AI. And this is a bad idea because there could be a so AI can be used to shove out misinformation really, really easily. Because a lot of what a lot of what the problem is that when it comes, especially when it comes to like the Epstein stuff, or when it comes to just like videos in general, like something that I've been seeing a lot is AI stuff related to the Avengers Doomsday trailer. You don't know what's real and what's not anymore. So, you need to, in my eyes, the governments need to be able to regulate AI so that it can be used in certain ways, right? Like for, example, like the president's AI stuff on this platform is funny stuff. Keep that, but don't use it to peddle misinformation. Do not do that. Also, recommendation from me, do not use it for trailers and stuff. Don't do that. Do not do that. So, in a way, deregulating AI could be very, very dangerous if it gets into the wrong hands and or it has the potential to evolve. So, here's the article here. The robot warriors are coming, and so are the zillionaires. Senator Bernie Sanders, independent from Vermont, warned in a wide-ranging interview with NBC News on the rise and risks of artificial intelligence. I think we are not all that far away from the development of robotic soldiers, Sanders said Sunday. Right now, politicians, at least sometimes, have to worry about loss of life when they decide to go to war. If you don't have to worry about loss of life and what you worry about is loss of robots, what does that mean for issues of war and peace globally? It's a big issue. That's very, very true. It'll make going to war a whole lot more palatable for the mainline public. It'll it'll if you have soldiers that are robots fighting in war, it'll be easier to sell going to war. So he's got a really big point. And also, at the end of this all, Raytheon and Boeing still make a shit ton of money. Sanders is known for his focus on the millionaires and billionaires of the world and how the U.S. government might favor them. In recent months, he's turned his attention to AI, which he says is an extension of his primary concerns about wealth and inequality. Today, before we have seen the full implications of robotics and AI, you're looking at unprecedented wealth and income concentration, Sanders said. The top 1% of Americans own more wealth than the bottom 93%, he said. All of these zillionaires, the Musks, the Ellisons, the Bezoses, the Zuckerbergs, are investing hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars into AI and robotics. What is the result of all of that? Well, that's funny because we were just talking yesterday about how the Ellisons in charge of Paramount want to buy WB. And the in the video that I did yesterday, the people that I was reacting to were kind of in a way sort of tap dancing around agreeing with making AI content and also with Paramount buying it. And listen, I didn't say this on my video yesterday. I would just rather WB not get sold, but I would much rather them be sold to Netflix only for the sole fact that in my eyes, I deem it as a power move by the president to get his hands on more media. That's my point of view. Nothing factual from that. That's just my own point of view. There's no evidence to prove that. That's just my own point of view. That's what I believe. Um, Elon Musk the owner or the CEO of XAI, was just approved to receive a pay package from one of his other companies, Tesla, that can make him the world's first trillionaire. It will mean even more wealth and even more political power for these guys at the top while our democracy gets weaker and weaker. Working people will see a significant decline in their standard of living unless we turn this around. I mean, Bernie's right. If you watch his old video from like 1991 where he basically is like um the American people hold this institution in contempt and all that stuff. He said then when the budget for the military was like $200 billion, it's like a flash in the pan compared to what it is now. And the standard of living for Americans has decreased exponentially across the board in so many ways since 1992 when that video came out. I mean, if you want to think about it, we're poorer, we're sicker, the life expectancy is going down. No one can afford to go to college, no one can afford to buy a house, no one can afford to buy a car, no one can afford their health care, no one can afford childcare. If you have to miss work, we don't get paid sick leave, we don't get paid family leave, you don't get any of that stuff. You would think that with us being the greatest country on earth, we would have all the most updated stuff. We would be at the top of the line when it comes to all this stuff. But the truth is that we rank in like the bottom of everything. We rank I believe our infrastructure is at like a D plus. Our healthcare system is like an F. Our childcare system and our education system is like below an F. It's like an E. We do not we as a country cannot function like this for much longer because this is the fault of the people in power. But it's true. Kids are growing up stupider. It's just true. And then they're not going to want to go into the workforce, one. Or two, if they want to go to college, they're not going to be able to pay for it. Or three, even if they can, they're not going to be able to get a job that will be able to sustain their lifestyle because everything keeps going up in price. And even when I was literally talking with my friend Muffler Tate on a Discord call. And me and him came to the conclusion, yeah, sure, wages are technically going up, but it doesn't do anything when the price of everything keeps rising. What does that do for you? Nothing. Nothing. So, how can my generation and then the generation after me be expected to live in this world when we can't afford anything? Anyway, Sanders' focus on AI comes as tech companies have announced historic AI investments and sought to secure goodwill from President Donald Trump. The Trump administration has prioritized ensuring Americans' AI ecosystem is unencumbered by bureaucratic red tape to avoid to avoid an onerous regulatory regime while also keeping many aspects of the Biden administration's AI efforts. Sanders is not, but Biden didn't have any regulation on it either. Biden, when it came to AI, was hands off on it, which is why it's grown as much as it has. Sanders is not only the only elected official bringing attention to the issue with rising interest in AI legislation. Sanders is not the only elected official bringing attention to the issue, with rising interest in AI legislation at both the state and the federal levels. On Tuesday, a House subcommittee met to discuss the safety of AI chatbots. In the interview with NBC News, Sanders says he sees the issue as an urgent matter and hopes to provoke more discussion about AI and its potential impacts on society. The folks who have studied this moment are suggesting that this ain't just another technological revolution. It is a lot more profound and it's going to move a lot quicker. With such a fast-moving and general-purpose technology as AI, Sanders sees threats not only to workers but also to large notions of humanity. Yeah, listen, if we're not careful and if we don't regulate this, AI is going to have all our jobs in like 20 years. I'm just being real. We're not going to have any jobs. We're going to live in like the Terminator or like the fucking Matrix. People are worried that right now, many young people, teenagers, are relying on companionship from AI rather than fellow human beings, Sanders said. If kids today have AI as their best friends, as the people that they relate to, where they spend most of their time rather than other human beings. What kind of change does that mean for What kind of change does that mean for humanity? We're talking about incredibly deep issues of what it means to be human, Sanders concluded. This issue needs enormous discussion, and I hope we can provoke some of it. Sanders will hold a town hall with Godfather of AI and Nobel laureate Jeffrey Hinton on Tuesday night at Georgetown University to discuss AI's trajectory, including its effect on workers. People who know a lot more than I do about this, people like Elon Musk, Bill Gates, Dario Emoti, they are talking about massive job dislocations, Sanders said. Musk recently said that AI and robots will replace all jobs. Working will be optional. No. We're not doing that. No. But what the hell does that mean if it's going to replace all jobs? If I'm a factory worker today, if I'm working in an office, how am I going to feed my family? How am I going to pay the rent? Who is talking about that? Sanders added, also referencing recent claims from Anthropic CEO Emoti that the AI could eliminate half of all entry level white collar jobs and increase unemployment by up to 20% in the next 1 to 5 years. There has been far too little discussion among the American people in the media and certainly in Congress about the implications of AI and robotics. Is that it? Oh. In October, Sanders released a report on AI and led a hearing on AI's potential to support American workers and families. He's also proposed a limited set of policies that he says could help address some issues posed by AI, including increased employee ownership of companies or a reduced work week and even a potential robot tax on large corporations, using the revenue to improve the lives of workers who have been harmed. Based. Sanders has also proposed that leading American AI company OpenAI should be broken up given its size. In his interview with NBC News, he said his call was more general than just OpenAI and meant to implicate several of America's largest AI companies. When I talk about breaking these companies up, I mean creating a situation where this new technology is designed to benefit ordinary people, not just designed by a handful of billionaires to make them even richer, he said. I don't have a blueprint in my back pocket here because nobody has ever had to deal with this reality, but the idea that a handful of multi-billionaires can determine the future of humanity seems a little bit crazy to me. Yeah, I mean, if this doesn't get fixed, we're literally going to be living like the Matrix. Sanders is also criticizing efforts by American venture capitalists and deep-pocketed donors to create super PACs designed to lobby against AI regulation. Yeah, that's crazy. There are literally people on both sides of the aisle, mind you, that are against the regulation of AI because AI can make them billions upon billions of dollars. So we have to be careful about that. You got people who are suggesting that it's almost anti-religious, the Antichrist, to be demanding regulation of AI and robotics right now. He said, obliquely referring recent speeches by Silicon Valley stalwart Peter Thiel. Haha, Peter Thiel, Palantir's bitch boy. In one of these lectures, Thiel said, "In the 21st century, the Antichrist is a Luddite who wants to stop all science." It almost takes you back to the 1700s and the monarchies throughout Europe, Sanders said. Some of these big tech guys think that they have a God-given right to rule the world, and the idea that a Congress or ordinary citizens might object to what they are doing, they see as something that is unacceptable. So they will put unlimited amounts of money into super PACs to elect candidates who allow them to do whatever they want. It's very dangerous. Asked about increasing cooperation between leading American AI companies and the U.S. military, Sanders highlighted growing concerns about privacy. How far away are we from a small number of people having access to the email that you sent out, every phone call that you've been on, really every aspect of your life? We're not far. I mean, listen, Bernie, I love you, but we're already here. The NSA, which respect to you, have voted against every NSA bill. And then Palantir is also doing that. Palantir is going to be Skynet, y'all. Okay, either we're there right now, or we certainly assume we will be there. That gives the people on top extraordinary control when they have that knowledge, he said. Sanders joins a growing and bipartisan group of national politicians focusing on AI. Some, like Senator Josh Hawley, have targeted the societal impacts of AI. Hawley has recently proposed several AI-related bills, including an effort to limit minors' access to chatbots, based a push to better track AI-related layoffs, and a mechanism to evaluate AI models' abilities. Others in including Senators Elizabeth Warren, fuck off, and Jim Banks uh have proposed bills targeting the export of American AI technology and hardware to China. For his part, Sanders is hoping his voice can help advance the conversation. I see growing awareness, but I don't think Congress is moving anywhere near fast enough, he said. So yeah, be careful with AI. The future could be scary, but there's a few people in Congress standing up, maybe trying to do what's right. We'll see. I'll keep you updated.